Hello everyone, it's Rebecca here and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hiya, how you doing? Today I'm doing round 2 of my Unhaul challenge. So if you've seen the first one, you will already know the premise of this. This is literally, I have 2 shelves. I have my keep shelf, my getaway shelf, and my maybe pile, which currently has the 2 books in it from the last time that I filmed this video. Last time we were quite successful. We got rid of probably about 25 books in total, if not more. So I am just going to get straight into it, but before I do, I just want to say that these books, if you have gifted me books and I haven't read them yet, they are not being put in this unhaul video. If I've read them, they may feature in a debate about unhauling them if I did not like them. It is nothing against you, it's nothing against, you know, well, it is against the book. It's nothing against you as a person. I'm very, very grateful and very thankful that you even considered looking at my wish list, let alone buying me a book. It is literally just that if I read the book, it didn't gel with me, and that is why it is up for contention of being unhauled. They will get first priority of my friend and my sister before I then either donate them to charity or put them up online. So if you have given me a book and I have not enjoyed it, you also get first refusal. So I'm just going to pick some books up off my shelf and decide from there which ones I'm keeping and which ones I'm getting rid of. So let's go for round 2 of my unhauls. Okay, so the first one is from an author who featured in the last one actually, and that is James Swallow's Shadow. I picked this one up in the airport when we were going, I wanted to say on our honeymoon 2 years ago. That's not good, but this is a ruthless far-right terrorist is broken out of captivity. A mysterious bioscientist with a terrible secret is abducted. A lethal contagion threatens millions of lives across Europe and the Middle East. Ex-MI6 officer Mark Dane faces a deadly challenge against all odds to stop a devastating attack before the new kind of weapon is unleashed. I read I Am Pilgrim by Scott somebody. I want to say Scott Lynch. I don't think it is because that's Eliza Lochramora man. By Scott somebody. Years ago, and that was about chemical warfare, and it was a really interesting read, but I'm kind of worried that if I've read one of them, I've read them all. So I think I'm going to get rid of this one because I didn't pick it up when I was on holiday, which is a shame, but the premise is good, so I might see if my dad wants it. Next up we have All That She Can See by Carrie Hope Fletcher. I read All I Know Now. Was that All I Know Now? No, On the Other Side I read a few years ago and absolutely loved. I feel like this is the kind of fluff that will keep me happy, that will cheer me up but also make me cry and just feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So I'm not going to get rid of it because I really like Carrie Hope Fletcher as a social media influencer, as an actress, as a writer. Just her online presence is so important to me as somebody who is the same age as her. See somebody accomplish so many good things. I'm going to keep her books, so that's just a future preference for the rest of the videos. I'm not featuring Carrie Hope Fletcher anymore in these videos. Next up we have a one that I have read, and that is To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. This one I didn't like as much as The Long Way, so kind of guess where this is going. I thought it was okay. I thought it was nothing to write home about, and I'm very, very sad about that. So onto the unhaul pile you go. Next up we have Release by Patrick Ness. This one is really short actually, and it follows Adam, whose time is running out because way across town a ghost has risen from the lake. Searching, yearning, she leaves a trail of destruction in her wake. Oh, that rhymes! I hope that's not the whole bloody book that rhymes. And it becomes a touching and personal story about love at the end of the world. No. I'm going to be very brutal, I think, because I've not read it so far. So, really? So I had They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera also, which I have since sold because I wasn't sold on the idea of 2 people falling in love on the day they're going to die. So there's that. I'm just going to get rid of Patrick Ness's Release, which is a shame because I have read A Monster Calls and really, really liked it. So that is a shame, but I am keeping the Chaos Walking trilogy for now, so I'm not giving up hope on Patrick Ness just yet. Okay, so next up we have my like yellowy, orangey red books. I have a lot of red books, as in the colour, so these probably will feature over a few videos, but the first one I have is The Similars by Rebecca Hanover. This one is an ARC, I believe. I got this one from a trade group on Facebook, and yeah. This follows a school where there are 6 people who have clones that also attend the school, and there's deadly secrets, and I just felt like that would be really intriguing to read, and I just never got around to it, but I think I'm going to keep it because it looks like it could be a quick read, and I just opened it up on a random page and I was like, oh, there's drama. So I'm going to keep a hold of it. Next up we have 2 books by Kate Furnivall. Now if you remember a while ago, I say a while ago, it was a few years ago now, I read The Betrayal and really, really, really enjoyed it. I don't know what it is, I don't know if it was just a one-off and I was really in the mood, but I'm going to get rid of The Survivors and also The Liberation. I feel like these 2 are linked because they are very similar in colour. One set in Italy and one set in Germany in 1945. This one follows they're in a displaced person's camp, and when she recognises a man from in the camp from her past, he knows exactly what she did during the war to save her daughter. She knows his real identity and what will be the price of silence, and will either make it out of alive. I feel like, you know what, I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to get rid of the liberation because I don't feel as attached to this one, and it's thicker. But I'm going to keep the survivors because that actually still really, really intrigues me. Next up we have Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I started to read this years ago. Not even years ago, I got 22 pages into it, and that was after reading the prologue, which was like 25 pages in itself. And it's a small book and not a lot had happened, so bye bye bye. Next up I have The Robber Bride by Margaret Atwood. This one lived on my downstairs table, like underneath it, for months, actual months. I picked this one up as second hand. I've never read Margaret Atwood. I wanted to read The Handmaid's Tale, but I felt like it wouldn't be for me. This follows Xenia, who is beautiful, smart and greedy, man's dream, woman's nightmare. She's also dead, and then they're there for the funeral. I don't know. I feel like basically this woman should be dead, but she isn't. I don't know. I feel like it could be quite gothicy, quite mysterious, but I'm trying to reduce my TBR, and because I'd forgot this even existed, this is going. Next up we have quite a few books here, so I'm just going to go with this one first. This is Winter in Madrid by C.J. Sansom. This is in really, really, really good condition, and it's second hand. If you've seen my last video, you will know what I did with Dominion, and I've heard that this is better, but it also says if you like Carlos Ruiz Zafran, you'll love this, and I did not, so I'm getting rid of it. I don't need that Nazi in my life. I mean, he's probably not a Nazi, he's probably dead, to be honest, but he's probably not a Nazi. That's a really bad accusation to make, but it sounds like he's very heavy, like anti-British, anti-anybody who would defeat Germany. Next up we have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read this one earlier this year and really didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. It was quite disappointing to say the least, but it has the most stunning sprayed edges. I'm getting rid of it. It has the most stunning sprayed edges, and as much as I love the sprayed edges, I don't need that in my life. Next up we have The Perfect Assassin by K.A. Doe. This is the one that was sent me by the publishers. This follows Amastan as a new assassin in the Baz Bowen family. He's already having second thoughts about taking a life. The scarcity of contracts ends up being just what he needs, until unexpectedly Amastan finds the body of a very important drum chief. Until impossibly, Baz Bowen's finest start showing up dead, with their murderous Jan running wild in the dusty streets of Garid, until inevitably Amastan is ordered to solve these murders before the family gets blamed. Every life has its price. When the tables are turned, Amastan must find this perfect assassin or be the next target. It's given me Sherlock vibes, but also, if you've read Aurora Rising and Aurora Burning, Cal vibes, because Cal does not want to let the inner self be free, and I feel like that's what could happen with this. I'm going to keep it. I feel like that could be very, very good. Anyway, on to Anno Dracula by Mr. Kim Newman. I had a teacher who hated me when I called him Mr. and he was a doctor, but anyway. It's a Dracula retelling. It is a mechanical Dracula retelling, I think. 1888, and Queen Victoria is remarried, taking her new consort as the Wakalian prince, infamously known as Count Dracula. His polluted bloodline spreads through London as citizens increasingly choose to become vampires. In the grim backstreets of Whitechapel, a killer known as Silver Knife is cutting down vampire girls. The eternally young vampire Genevieve and Charles of the Diogenes Club are drawn together as they both hunt the still. Oh God, I don't care. I was in two minds last time, I don't care. Next up we have Snap by Belinda Bauer. I read The Beautiful Dead by this author and really, really enjoyed it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick up all of her works, because that's what you do. Yeah, this one I'm keeping because that is the story of a family, a mother and her young children who are involved in a car accident, and the mother says, stay here, I'll be right back, I'm going to go phone for help at this payphone so far down the road. And the mother is gone for hours and hours and hours, and yeah, very interesting, that one. Dan Brown. If you saw my last video, you will know that I'm just not feeling it. It's going. And then we have The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. So, I loved The Host. And its prime, Twilight was the boy in its prime. I have not read Midnight Sun. I did not read The Short Second Life of Brutana, even though I bought it. Or my grandma gave me it. And this is her first foray into adult thrillers, I believe. And this follows She. She does not have a name. This isn't good. Don't like it when she doesn't have a name. It's a spy, MI5-y, injection-y, so I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest. So far so good though, we're getting rid of like half a shelf, woohoo! Okay, next pile of books. First one I have is The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. This one is in a similar matching to The Night Watch, like it's got the same kind of styling, and you'll know that from my last video. I kept The Night Watch, and this is set in a post-war summer in Warwickshire. A doctor's called to a patient at Lonely Hundreds Hall. Home to the Ayres family for over 2 centuries, the Georgian house is now in decline. Its owners, mother, son and daughter, struggling to keep pace with the changing society. Are they haunted by something more sinister than a dying way of life? Little does Dr. Faraday know how closely and how terrifyingly their story is about to become entwined with his. Again, it's another gothic-y kind of thriller horror, so I'm going to keep it, but if I started and don't enjoy it, then it's going. We then have The Last by Hannah Jameson. This one, I really am excited for this one, but I've heard really mixed things, and it's set in Scandinavia? Switzerland. It's set in Switzerland, and there's you and 19 others in this hotel in this like basically rural area. The power goes out, basically the whole world is coming to an end, and then you find a dead body and you realise that somebody else in this group must have killed the people. I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to give myself a deadline of 6 months. So if I haven't read this by Easter next year, it's going. We then have The Narrow Road to a Deep North by Richard Flanagan. This one, I had started it. I'm just not bothered. Like, this won the Man Booker Prize in 2014, which is how long I've had this book. And I hate to say it, but I feel like I'm growing out of my war phase, and I don't want to grow out of my war phase. Next up we have Contagion by Terry Terry. Clues in the name. Endemic. It's a chunky boy. I'm not bothered anymore. I had it for ages, as I said. I've had this for a while. I had it on from release, just like this Mortal Coil by Emily Suvada, but the difference is I want to keep this one because this follows Cole, who arrives with the news of Lachlan Agatha's death. All hope seems lost for Katerina, who is his daughter. His father was the world's leading geneticist and humanity's best hope for beating a devastating virus. And hidden beneath Cole's gene-hacked enhancements, she finds a message of hope. Lachlan created a vaccine, but only she can find and decrypt it if she can unravel the clues he left for her. This, I feel like, is going to do an epidemic or a virus better than Contagion would be. I don't know if I would read it right now. So far, this isn't going as well as the last time. It's better, but not as good. And the last one from this pile is Kill the Father by Sandra Dazieri. This is set in Rome. A mother and her son are abducted from a park in Rome, launching a massive manhunt. Thing with Kill the Father is I feel like it is part of a series, and it's either going to be the start of a series and be not good, or it's going to be part of a series and I'm not going to understand it anyway. I'm just going to get rid of it because I've had it for years and I've not read it. I'm just really struggling to part with books in this video. The first time it was really easy because I was like, bye, see you later, but now I'm starting to get tired. Okay, where do we go next? Where do we go? Okay, so next up we have The Outsider by Stephen King. I read this and didn't enjoy it in the paperback format, so I'm getting rid of the hardback. I can't remember having that actually. Next up we have The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell. This follows Holly, wayward teenager, broken-hearted rebel and unwitting pawn in a titanic hidden conflict. Oh, it's over 6 decades. I don't have the time to keep up with somebody's life over 60 years when I barely have time to keep up with my own. We then have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Elias Saenz. I started this one, don't know how to feel about this, so I started and put it down because I just wasn't feeling it. I feel like it's one of those things that you have to be really in the mood for. I'm going to keep it, and then next time I do an unhaul, if I still haven't read it, it's going. It's so many people's favourite book and I'm just not bothered. We then have The Muse by Jessie Burton. Why did I pick this up when I don't even like The Miniaturist? And then I've read the back of it again, and for some reason at the time I picked it up and I thought it would be really interesting. A painting, secret history of a painting. Why did I pick that up? Like, you've never liked that kind of thing, why would you do that to yourself? Anyway, next up we have The Betrayal by Kate Furnivall. As I mentioned earlier, Kate Furnivall is an author that I really like this book. I'm getting rid of it because it's for me it's very forgetful. It's been years since I read it and I could say I really enjoyed it, but I couldn't tell you fully what it was about right now. So it's gonna go. And then we have Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, which I started reading. I've also started watching, and I think now that I've started watching it, I'll probably be able to follow it a little bit easier. So I'm gonna keep a hold of it. The same rule applies for this as it does for Arian Dante. If I don't enjoy it, it is leaving. Okay, so we are going to do one more pile, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 5 more shelves left, which I'm going to do in a separate video because I'm tired and I want to go downstairs. So The first two I'm going to share are thrillers, and that is The Girl Before and Believe Me by JP Delaney. I've picked these up and put these back in the charity shop so many times, bought them a few times as well. I'm not bothered. I'm really not bothered, so I'm just going to get rid of them because I've not read them so far, so why would I read them again? We then have Soulless and Changeless by Gail Carriger, and these are in the Parasol Protectorate series, books 1 and 2. I've heard these are really quick, fun reads, but I've had Soulless for the longest time, so I don't know, I think I'm going to put them on my maybe pile, which, if you didn't see the last video, the maybe pile is literally the pile where I deliberate whether I'm going to get them, get rid of them, keep them, and let you decide in the comments down below. So if you think I should keep these, please do let me know. Next up we have Blood and Sand by C.V. Wick. This one I was really interested in, and it is Spartacus as a young woman, and it looks like it's going to be really, really short. And I got this in Fairy Loot a couple of years back, and I just didn't pick it up. I was going to pick it up when I picked up Fire and Heist. Ooh, that was a tough read, so I didn't pick it up. It kind of put me off it a little bit, so I think I'm going to keep this and give it another try. But again, this is going to have a 6-month deadline on it, and if I haven't read it by April, it's going to go. So stick you there. We then have The Ice by Lillian Paul. You all know I am the biggest supporter of The Bees by Lillian Paul. It is one of my favourite books of all time, but this is a thriller from Lillian Paul, and this is a frozen corpse that emerges from a melting glacier, and after 3 years of uncertainty, Sean Corson can finally put the past behind him. Tom Harding, friend of 30 years, was lost in an accident and Sean was the last person to see him alive. Basically there's things hidden in the ice, and I'm guessing it's secrets and lies just as much as dead bodies. I feel like if I was in the right mindset, I should have just picked it up when I bought it. Again, small writing. Why do people do this? It's good. We then have The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. This one I'm getting rid of, but I think I might actually be my husband's copy, so I probably shouldn't. We then have The Graces by Laura Eve. It's a signed edition, by the way. I was really, really excited by this one. Everyone loves The Graces. Fenman Grace is larger than life, almost mythical. He's the school pan, seducing girls without really meaning to. He's biding his time until someone special comes along. Someone different who will make him wonder how he got along all this time without her. Someone like me. Bit full of yourself, but anyway. Fenman's twin Talia is a willowy beauty with rippling honey-coloured hair. Wherever she goes, Talia leaves behind a band of followers who want to emulate her. She casts spells over everyone she encounters, just like Fenman, even if they both deny it. Then there's Summer. She's the youngest Grace, and the only one who admits she's really a witch. Summer is dark on the outside with jet black hair and kohl-rimmed glasses, and on the inside, it was inevitable that she'd find me, the new girl, alone with secrets lurking under the surface. I am River, I am not a Grace, but I'll do anything to become one. This sounds like a Heathers retelling, if you've heard of Heathers, the musical, the film. UK brought out their version with Carrie Hope Fletcher, and the soundtrack is spot on. On that premise alone, I kind of want to keep it, because I feel like somebody's going to commit murder. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep it. Again, 6-month timeline. Then have Beyond a Darkened Shore by Jessica Leake. This was my first ever Fairy Loot book. My first ever book box book, and I still haven't read it. I don't really care about it anymore. It's going. It's a shame that it's going, because I really did want to like it and did want to keep it. I just haven't got around to it yet, and I just don't care, and I need the shelf space. Down to the last 3 books. So we have The 13 by Steve Kavanagh. I was in 2 minds last time I did an Unhaul video about keeping this one. I'm just going to get rid of it. It sounds like a really good concept. I'm just not feeling it anymore. We then have Last Stop Auschwitz, My Story of Survival from Within the Camp by Eddie de Wind. I feel really bad about this, but I'm going to get rid of it. I feel like I'm growing out of my war fiction phase, which is a real big shame, because I absolutely adore war fiction, particularly Second World War fiction, because you just connect to the story on a deeper emotional level than you ever thought possible. So it's a shame that I'm getting rid of this, but I don't think I'm emotionally capable of doing this anymore. The last one we have is Death Note Volume 1. I got to page 85. Don't care, don't like the guy in it. It's a really horrible face, and I'm just not feeling it. I know so many people love this, and I can understand why, but I just found it boring. The kid's just too needy and whiny, and yeah, not enjoyed it, so it's going. And there we have it. This time this round wasn't as successful in terms of things I'm keeping, because, you know, it's supposed to be shrinking this thing and it's not helping. But I did get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I did get rid of 26 books, so it's not too bad. I've got 2 on the maybe pile, so again, if you think I should keep Changeless and Soulless, please do let me know in the comments down below. If you think I should read any of these in priority, again, please let me know. And if I'm getting rid of a favourite, I'm really, really sorry. But that is it for today's video. If you open that description box up, it's right next to the like and subscribe and the bell icon. If you did any or all of those, that would be amazing. Thank you so much if you do. Or if you already are subscribed, a long time subscriber, please click that like button. It really helps my channel out. If you open that description box, you'll find a link to all of my social media channels. Please go and say hi on those other platforms. Particularly Twitter is where I'm mostly active at the minute. So come say hi on those. And yeah, leave me a comment down below of anything you've unhauled recently or anything you would like me to read off this shelf only, because this shelf is buying. And I shall see you all soon with another video. Bye! Very George Michael. You know, wham. Whew.